can very sensitive people manifest? If you have been asking that question, if you have been wondering how can actually someone that is extremely sensitive, that gets very overwhelmed by almost everything, if there's a way to manifest the things that they desire. Me, as someone that has been most of my life a very sensitive person and someone that never thought that that could be something positive, I think I made similar questions to myself many times. Can I actually have a normal life being as sensitive? And funny thing that I am coming to a place where I'm realizing that when I started taking my life as a sensitive person very seriously, when I decided that I wanted to figure out how to work with my emotions, I think at the beginning I wanted to fix my emotions because I felt like I was broken. What I first did was enter into the space of manifestation. So now I am in a place where I have manifested many beautiful things, and I'm coming to the realization that me coming from being a very sensitive people, how come I'm not going to share, especially in my channel? I've been focusing on creating content to support highly sensitive people. So I'm like, how I'm not gonna share everything that I have learned for other individuals that feel the same way, that experience a lot of overwhelm in their lives. And I see you, like I know how it feels, and I have the tools, I have the experience, and I cannot freaking wait for you to experience the same. So before I go into the steps and everything that you can start doing from today, a couple of disclaimers that I would like to share. First, disclaimer, I do not like to talk about manifestation. I do not like the word, how the word is used these days. It's a very powerful word. It's beautiful. You hear it and it's just like, like inspires you so much. Like, in one word, you see a whole process of bringing something from one place to another, a transformation, a creative process, a creation process. But unfortunately, I don't know, in the last years, 5-10 years, there's been a lot of what's a good word, coaches, businesses, services, people creating services and products around the manifestation concept, and they have been using so much the word, and because there's so much information out there, I feel like it's been losing its power, its magic. So I'm going to be talking about creation process in my video, in my channel, so you from now that's the way I like to refer to this beautiful process. Maybe sometimes you will hear me talking about manifestation because it's just easy. It's an easy word to use, so everyone is able to understand. The second thing that I wanted to share is that I am coming from a background in fine arts and graphic and visual design. So you don't have to be a creative, but probably I'm gonna be talking in that language of creativity. I also have a very special place in my heart for any creative person. This is probably the second disclaimer that I want to make. I like to talk to creatives, but I believe that because we go to an art school, we choose to do a career in creativity, that's not the only thing that makes us creatives. Every single person is a creative. I do want to say that in my heart, I hold a very special space for creatives, especially my generation or younger generations. I don't think in the education system right now we have an instructor that we have enough education around how to work with our emotions. And in other videos I've been talking about this, how discouraging it can be when we have so much creative force, energy, talent, And because we don't learn how to work with our emotions, a lot of the times, including myself, we just don't see ourselves thriving. We start having blockages, obstacles through our career that unfortunately it doesn't allow us to evolve and to express that creative energy and that creativity that we spent years at school, or probably some people even before going to school they've been working on developing the skill. And just because we don't have that preparation, we don't have that education about how to work with our emotions, it's almost like we're just not able to express it, to share it with the world. So I just hold a very special place for every single creative that feels that way. So I like to focus especially for those kind of people on my videos, but every single person, as I say, we are all creatives. Since the moment we woke up and we make the decision of what we want to do, if we want to make breakfast, if we want to shower, if we want to wear one thing or another, if we want to send a message to someone, we are creating, we are making choices, we are creating our lives. And this process of manifestation, of creation, is that, you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be graphic designer or interior designer. You don't have to be in the creative field to do these things. So welcome to my channel, welcome to this video. If you don't know me, my name is Melissa, and a little bit of my background so you also understand why I'm so passionate about this subject and why to believe in my story. I also want to encourage you, probably a third disclaimer here. I am someone that has learned so much from other people, and something that in my own process of learning from one person and another, trying to discern what was true and what wasn't from what they were sharing, I had a moment of disappointment of thinking, why not everyone that is putting content out there, why they're not as vulnerable and authentic, and they just share that they are, why they don't emphasize more that they are just sharing what they have learned in their process. It's almost like we start seeing people as authority, as their, the authority, the person we are learning from, and we forget that they're humans, and we forget that they have gone through experiences, and sometimes we are going to resonate with some parts of what they have learned and how they got to the place we would like to get. But not everything that the person experiences in their lives is going to be exactly as what we have been going through. So I encourage you to listen to me, to listen to everyone, whoever you would like to learn from, but always making some time, maybe after watching this video, to have a moment to discern, to connect with what's true for you, what's your truth. I do this because I love to inspire people. That's, like, I like to think that that's part of my purpose in this life. But I think it's really key. It's really important in life to start seeing humans as humans. That maybe in some areas in life they are a little farther than us, and they can bring some light into our own path. But creating our own perspectives and creating our own version of things, and how I'm gonna share how I have done this process. And based on that, I encourage you and I invite you to think how you would like to do this. What of my experience, what from what I have done in the way I have done things, you can, take a little bit from what I have done and maybe go out there and find other people. So yeah, that's the last disclaimer. Let's dive deep into this fascinating subject that I cannot wait to share with everyone. Just as a reminder, in my last video I shared a little bit about this too. This is gonna be a series. I'm gonna create a playlist, but if you don't want to miss any video, I suggest that you follow the channel, do all the things, subscribe to the channel, so you get notified whenever there's a new video. So you have all the steps, you don't miss any of the steps. I will try also to do short videos because I get very passionate, very excited, talking, and I just want to make it easy, practical, fun. And so yeah, you can start applying this from today, from now on. This video is the first spark, the first step, if we can say. I don't see it as a step, I just see it as the spark of inspiration, as the moment where we create awareness, where we understand what this is. And well, let's rewind a little bit. I wanted to share a little bit about my background. So we will get to what I was describing, but my background, I grew up in a very spiritual home. Since I was born, my dad already was a Zen monk, and they tell me this story that right when I was born, it was the moment when my dad decided to create. It was official for him that this was going to be his path in life, that he started a meditation center in my city back in Colombia. I am from Medellin. So he starts a meditation center, a Zen meditation center, the year I was born. And that means I grew up with a dad that is a Zen monk. And my parents were divorced. My mom is also extremely into spirituality. She is being more of the new age kind of things. So I grew up with two parents, very powerful personalities. They have been studying their entire lives about these concepts and inspiring others, helping others to heal their bodies, their everything. And so this has been my life. As you can imagine, when we grew up with parents that it doesn't matter what they do, they are still all parents. So probably it was just the landscape of my life. I wasn't as curious. My dad never pushed his lifestyle into us. He was very respectful, and he knew that whenever we were ready, my sisters and I, we would join if we wanted his lifestyle. So when I was 18, I decided to join the not his Zen center, but the one in the capital. I spent there for a whole month, waking up at 3 a.m., 3:30 in the morning, meditating 3 times a day with the Zen master director of that center. That was a very special person my whole life. He was just so much important in my life. So I got to spend with him that whole month, and being guided and being mentored by him as a 18 years old, a teenager. I don't know if you're still a teenager at that age, but anyways, it created a mark in my life. Definitely, I can see a before and after. I moved to San Francisco, to United States, and I think it was only until later, until I was probably like 26, 27, that I was going from one workout to another. And someone recommended that I should try yoga. And I knew a little bit about yoga before, but I was kind of like, that's just like, that's there. I wasn't that interested. But the way it happened to me, I think it was at the studios I started going, it was super fun for me. It was a fun thing that I started doing just because it was fun, and then it started turning and it started connecting all the pieces for me. I started turning into something else and connecting all the pieces for me. It was a studio where they would play music, so it was just like such a fun experience for me. And little by little I started realizing like, oh my God, I feel like I understand very well all these concepts, all these teachings. And of course that was the connection with the Zen background that I had growing up with my dad. So that was how I started connecting and turning into my own path of spirituality. I do respect and appreciate so much every time that I enter into a Zen temple, Zen center. Sendo is the word how it's called. I feel so much respect, and my nervous system goes like, I feel so much peace in my body. The way they see to meditate, it's just like, it's in my body. I carry that energy. I don't know how to explain it, but it goes deep in my bones. It's very special. It's not my style of meditation. It's not the way my body feels good in meditating. So going through a really difficult time when I was 2019, I don't even remember how I was. It was a difficult year for me because I was coming to the decision of not working anymore. I don't like saying giving up, but I was taking a break from working on my first business. It was a sustainable underwear brand. Onka Underwear was the name. I was extremely passionate about this dream. I was driven day by day for 4 or 5 years, working on creating this beautiful brand, making this dream true. I have to say that back then, in that moment, I just didn't know what was happening with me. I was searching, as many people in life, I was searching for answers. I remember having this conversation, sharing with people like, I'm extremely passionate about this, it's not working, and I feel like I'm stressed out, and this is not how I envisioned being an entrepreneur. I do know I want to be an entrepreneur, but this is just I got lost. I'm not enjoying how I'm feeling, so I have to take a little break. It was very extreme, I want to say, the way I was feeling, not knowing what I was feeling. I was just, the same way as we can feel when we are going through a breakup. I felt like I was losing something very important for me. And my first, my intuition, the first thing that told me to do was working with a coach. And I was lucky enough, it is unbelievable almost, that the way things went for me, I found a coach that was a neuroscientist coaching people in the field of creativity. And I was like, this is exactly what I feel like I need, because I don't want to lose all this creative energy, drive that I've been, having for all these many years. So that's when I want to say I enter very persistent, very intensely in the journey of I think it's fair to say the self-development space, right? Understanding what was blocking me, what's happening with me, how can I find again my passion, or how can I go, from here. Like, I'm closing a chapter, and I didn't know anything, to be honest. So this is 2019, we go into the pandemic, and a lot of things happen through, these last 6 years, which is crazy to think. But that's a chunk of my life where I kind of go away from creativity. I worked with many different things. I was very passionate to learn and learn more. So I went deep into psychology. Went very deep into the self-development space, spirituality, meditation. I learned from amazing, wonderful coaches and people. And I want to say that I've been sharing this in my other videos. Self-development is changing. I want to say that all the things that I did, I don't think is necessary for anyone that wants to start that kind of journey right now. So that's part of my inspiration with this series, with these videos, because I just see it clearly, from all the many things that I have done, all the many roads that I have taken. I have to say, like, in that journey, I don't want to think, and I don't want to say that I made mistakes, because you always learn lessons. But there were very challenging moments trying techniques that didn't work for me, that it wasn't the right thing for me. But again, I used to be a very stubborn person, and I wanted to try it, and I wanted to figure it out. So that's part of what I have to offer you watching, you person watching. How can I express this? I know the steps. We can say that is the shortcut. I know a couple of shortcuts. So you don't have to go in any road that might not be necessary. In this space of wellness and self-development, there's a lot of people selling, which is fair, right? They need to pay their bills. They are starting their business. So maybe they're not even aware of what they're doing. They're just making you believe that there's this issue. Like now the way I look at manifestation and I look at all these brands that are selling you how to manifest, I'm like, oh, of course they're gonna tell you that you have to do all these many self-development steps first, or you have to do all this meditation first, because that's the way they make money. But the concepts of creation, of manifestation, are very freaking simple. And in a way, I feel like it's unfair that there are not more people like me being frank and honest and just putting this magic that is available for everyone out there, for people to just enjoy and start creating the lives, their desires. This is just like a birth, what's the word? Right. It's a birthright for every single human. We just forgot these things. That's another thing that I would love you to know from now on. Everything that I'm going to be sharing in these videos, I'm just reminding you of things that we know as the essence, as the humans we are born as. We have that awareness. By experiences through life, we forget, because we experience difficult things and we start developing mechanisms to protect ourselves. So I'm going to be reminding you. That's what you're going to be feeling in my videos. You're going to be resonating with something that is already inside of you. So get freaking excited with me. Let's go. That's a little bit of my background. I feel like something that I can say about being, a daughter of a Zen monk. I understand energy. That's the one thing that I can say. That's one of the gifts I have. I developed from being in that space since I was born. I'm very good at discerning what's the essence of things, what's the essence of people, what's the essence of what I'm going to share with you, what's the core essence. So hopefully, like I'm gonna put all my effort in sharing all these teachings in a way that you can receive that essence, and you don't have to complicate your life, trying to understand and doing too many things. So that's my goal with this series. And let's go. Now going back to what this video is going to be about, first video, and turn into this series, into this space of creation. Yes, and that is part that I was talking about, that awareness, just breaking down all these myths. And I don't even know how much you know about the manifestation and the creation process. I'm just assuming that everyone has a lot of noise and complicated ideas of how this process is. And the first thing that I would love you to take from this video today is that this process, the one first thing we need, if you haven't tried anything, or maybe if you have been trying and it's not working, the first thing we will need to focus on, the first skill that you need, any single person would need to do this process, and every single person can develop, like anyone, and I'm going to remind you how you have done this before, is to know how to create a habit. If you are in, high school, if you finished high school already, you have created habits. We all have done it. Why? Because that's what manifestation is. That's what creation is. We want to lose some weight. So we have to create the habit, or it's going to be different for everyone, of eating a little healthier, of eating healthier food, or maybe eating less of the things that are not healthy, right? And the moment we do it, it's a habit. So the process of creation it's all about creating habits. And deeper than that, just to understand what a habit is, what we are doing when we're creating a habit, we are changing. So from now on, I would love you to start meditating about this idea. I have other videos that I'm going to link here so you can watch them and just start, getting inspired, hopefully, from my perspective about habits. But there's tons of information out there about how to create habits. Atomic Habits is a really good book these days, where they give you examples and guide you into how you can start creating habits. But when we look outside of what is the concept, the idea of creating a habit, it's creating change. We are changing, and it has been said, you watching, we all know that we have been told that humans, it's not that we love changing, it's in our nature, in the way we are wired, in through evolution. We like safety, and this is how our brains work. And some people that maybe haven't been used to, we all have different backgrounds, experiences in life. We are coming from different stories. Some people just haven't had to change. Some other people, they have been changing their whole lives. Something that is coming to my mind, it's like something to note that later is going to be important, that we have this awareness too. The way we change, how much we change, that also dictates our nervous system, dictates the quality of our nervous system, the levels where our nervous system is. That will give us some guidance in how, we will get into that later. But think about the multiple different group of friends that you have. I want to say that I'm coming from Colombia, and I live in the United States, in San Francisco. I was in Miami for a few months, and the lifestyles from one place to another is different, depending on the weather. People are forced, are invited, are used to changing more than others. I want to say that, I don't know, because I don't want to share many dramatic things, but if most people are familiar with the story of our country, Colombia, right? So I want to say that Latinos, that's something fair to say, Latinos, the way we have been raised and the things we have seen, the things we have been exposed to, makes us a little bit more susceptible, we adapt a little easier, I would say. Not to compare, we all develop different skills, different abilities in life. Again, this is all things that every single person can learn. That's the first idea, and it's a pretty big one, that I would love you to live with, to start meditating and start getting familiar with, start feeling into what is it to create a habit, how it feels like for you. How familiar are you with changing? How do you feel about change? We all have different levels of tolerance to change. I start maybe reflecting about the times you have created amazing change, that you got excited. Start collecting all that information, and I will see you in the next video. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm always super happy when you guys leave comments. It's always really nice to hear from you, how you're feeling, what you think, what you resonate with from the things that I'm sharing. Of course, if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer questions. For now, let's keep it short and sweet. I'll see you on the next video. So much peace and love.